About a year ago, I created a GPT as a storytelling coach to help professionals tell better stories. Now, at the time when I created it, it was okay. It was like a 3 out of 10. The customer experience wasn't great as you used it, and the output was just so-so. Well, I decided to go back and rework that GPT. And I will say, after making updates, it's now a solid 5 or 6 out of 10. It's quite good. So I want to share with you a few things that it did that I thought was surprising. And then at the end of the video, I'll share with you what I think I would do to take it from a 6 out of 10, 5, 6 out of 10 to an 8, 9 out of 10. The first surprising thing it did was to provide customized examples as inspiration to the storytelling questions. I provided it just a little information on the first question, and it already was taking that and customizing examples as inspiration. It did this without me even asking it to do it in the instructions or the knowledge file, which really blew me away. It was acting naturally like it was a coach. The second thing it did that really surprised me was to provide positive reinforcement. I did ask the GPT in the instructions to provide a summary of what the user said previously, but it did that in a really artful way, like a coach would. The third thing it did that I thought was quite an improvement over the last GPT was to recognize when I didn't answer a question. Like for this example, it asked, what was the end result of your efforts and how did this experience change you personally? Now, I didn't answer the second question, and it followed up and didn't just ask the question in a boring way. It actually asked it slightly differently, and it said, now on a personal level, how did this change you? The previous GPT would not have done that. So looking forward, how would I take this story from a 5 or 6 out of 10 to an 8 or 9 out of 10? Well, what I would do is I would make a workflow out of this. This is the first step in a prompt chain. And a prompt chain is working with an LLM multiple times so that you can get a better end result. And I think this GPT is fairly maxed out. I wouldn't want to keep tweaking it. I wouldn't want to keep adding more information to it because at some point you get some just not great results. And this is very similar to working with a person. And I would build this workflow out similar to what it would be like to working with a person trying to craft a story. You'd start with the bones of the story. You would start with the structure, the basics of it, and that would get you at a pretty good place. But to make it better, you would also have to do things that people struggle with in their stories. So I would probably make a GPT or another LLM call around, for example, inner transformation. That is something that people struggle adding to their story. I would also make another LLM call to talk about sensory details throughout the story because people will tell and not show, but you want to show and not tell, right? So if you're looking for a story, I'll add the GPT in the comments. Give it a shot. Let me know how it works.